Thank you, Kim, and good morning. Thanks once again to the Chamber for hosting another Good Morning Canfield. These events are always so well attended, and Farmers is, of course, happy to be a part of it, happy to help. First, I was talking to Alex a little bit earlier. I'd like to congratulate our own Canfield Cardinals on their #1 spot in the state rankings this week. So, big round of applause for the I know it's only mid-season, but Steve, Kristen, and I were kind of penciling out the rest of the schedule, so we're hopeful that we can get another state championship here back to the Valley. Next, I'd like to recognize one of Farmers' own. Just like to take a moment. I think many of you know Carl Culp. Carl Culp has been a leader at Farmers National Bank in our community for many, many years, and he's the first CFO of Farmers National Bank. He's been with the bank coming up on 30 years, I'll just say that, but CFO for well over 20 of those years. Well, tonight, Carl is going to receive the distinguished honor and be recognized by Youngstown State University and the Williamson College of Business as the 2018 Outstanding Business Alumnus of the Year. So we couldn't be more proud of Carl and happier for a great guy and well-deserving. So. Great job, Carl. I know everyone looks forward to the speakers that provide great updates today. This is a fun time of year to hear from everyone here in Canfield. But just for a quick moment, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what Farmers has been up to the past year. Just last night, we conducted an open house on our most recent expansion, and that's in Beechwood, Ohio. We opened a loan production office in Beechwood on Chagrin Boulevard. We've got about 7 or 8 professionals up there and relationship managers that are helping us grow into the greater Cleveland area there on the east side. We also continue to see growth in Beaver, Pennsylvania, Canton, Wayne, Medina, and Holmes County, as well as here in the Mahoning Valley. So just about 5 years ago, Farmers had right around 220 or 230 employees. Today we're up to 470 employees in 10 counties and 2 states in Ohio and Pennsylvania. So, this just enables us to continue to deliver on our mission and our passion of being a community bank and delivering to small businesses and helping those communities stay vibrant across our footprint. So, and it's no small contribution from this community, Canfield, Ohio, where we're proud to say it's home. I started by mentioning that we have a #1 ranking in the Canfield Cardinals football team. I'm also very excited to say that Farmers National Bank in the past few months received a #1 ranking by the Bank Director magazine, which is a very well-known and well-followed bank publication. We were named #1 in our peer group of $1 to $5 billion and number 30 in the country in that same peer group. So Canfield, I think we have a lot to be proud of today, and we just couldn't be happier to be here and sponsor today. So thank you.
Thank you, and to your team for all that you do in our community. Congratulations on your expansion and your awards of distinction. And Carl, congratulations once again. We appreciate your support of our program. I would also like to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude to the Canfield Area Council of the Chamber. For without this group, our Canfield programs would not be what they've become over the years. And when I tell you that the group is entrenched in the Canfield community, I'm not exaggerating in the least. Our council comprises city, township, and school leaders, as well as those who live and work in Canfield. Their passion for all things Canfield is astounding, and because of this group, Canfield is the only community in which we hold 2 good morning or evening programs each year, and also present 2 awards to deserving businesses and individuals at our spring event. And it's because of this council that our Canfield programs are often unique, creative, and fun, and yes, even get us into trouble at least once a year. And if you attended our April program, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but we wouldn't have it any other way. What I hear from all of you, neither would you. So I would like to ask the members of the Canfield Area Council to please stand so we can thank you for all that you do for this organization and the Canfield community. Please stand. If you work or live in Canfield or a chamber member and want to be plugged into this group, please talk to one of the members or call our office for more information. We'd love to welcome and have you on board. Before we jump into our updates this morning, I would be remiss if I didn't mention a few of the Chamber's upcoming programs and events, which you can find at regionalchamber.com. On October 9th, our Lattes and Legislator series continues with Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor at Kent State Trumbull University. Our economic forecast breakfast will be held on November 14th at Mr. Anthony's in Boardman. And on November 19th, the Government Affairs Council's wine tasting with elected officials will be held at the Avalon Inn Resort. And on a further note, the Chamber has partnered with America Makes for its members meeting and exchange event October 30th and 31st. The event features lots of high-level speakers from additive manufacturing industry, as well as C-level executives from companies across the country who will be attending. So it's definitely one you may want to consider, and I know there's some information on your tables about those events. I also want to take a moment. There is one on every table, a flyer about Centex. I know we already email you lots of information, but we're also going to start texting information for anyone who's interested in receiving that on your phone. So all you have to do is text YWRC to the number on that, the 51660, and we'll start to send you text messages with event updates, news, and anything else that may be going at the Chamber. And if you're not part of our contact mailing list already, that's something you may definitely want to consider. Well, we appreciate that the MCCTC is hosting us here once again, and we would like to kick off our morning with a welcome from Mara Banfield, Principal of Curriculum and Instruction.
Good morning. My name is Mara Banfield. I'm the Career Technical Director here at MCCTC. I'm speaking on behalf of Superintendent John Zettenbauer, who could not be here today, and the rest of our amazing administrative team. We've made some exciting, innovative changes here at MCCTC that we would like to share with you. We are no longer your grandfather's JVS. A couple of years ago, we decided to pilot academies, which are schools within a school. It was a great success, and from there, we decided to become a full academy school this year. We have 5 academies at the 11-12 level, plus the 9-10 STEM Academy. This is driven by an output model constructed around career pathways driven by industry and business. Recently, John Zettenbauer was named our new superintendent, and under his leadership, we're continuing to expand our programs based on input and interest of our students and also the students of Mahoning County. This year, we've added networking and cybersecurity, as well as natural resources. Last year, we added software engineering based on input from county 10th graders, which is currently at capacity. Additionally, our biotechnology and engineering programs are preparing students to be future doctors and engineers. We will continue to expand our programs based on the interests of our students and the needs of business and industry. We will continue to partner with professionals who guide our curriculum offerings. We will also be breaking ground in a few months on a live fire training facility and fire tower, as well as a mobile fire training center for our public safety and fire programs at the high school and adult education levels. We'd like to thank all of our partners in business and industry, as well as the other school districts, including Canfield Local Schools, who continue to work with us maximizing what we offer our kids. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mara, for having us this morning and for sharing some great info about what's going on here at the MCCTC. Next, we'll move right into our Canfield City, Township, and Schools updates, and we'll start with the city's mayor, Mr. Richard Duffett.
Thank you. Gotta love that logo, Canfield City That Cares. It used to be the village that cares, but we became the city, and there's numerous examples I can tell you of the outreach that citizens of Canfield have done. First of all, I'd like to thank you for that introduction, Kim. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber of Commerce, Colonel James Stingham. We have a good time. He was Air Force, I was Navy. So we already have a good relationship, even though we kind of beat up on you in football a little bit. But thank you for hosting this. I also like to thank Farmers National Bank for continual sponsorship. I can recall my first checking account there when I started doing some lawn service, and I still have that account. So thank you. This is a great event. This is my first one, and we are happy to be here. I'd like to introduce you to our city council team. And what I'd like to ask them to do is stand up and remain standing until I introduce them all. Our council president, John Morbay. our Councilman Bruce Neff. Councilwoman Christine Alver couldn't make it. Her daughter was sick this morning. Councilman and our dean, former city manager and now Councilman Charles Titch. And from our staff, our city manager, Wade Calhoun, and our chief of police, Chuck Colucci. Let's give them a hand for all they do. Ladies and gentlemen, our mission statement is the following, and you can see here, the city of Canfield is dedicated. This has always been a great city, and we're trying to make it greater. The city of Canfield is dedicated to providing exceptional municipal services, and we want to increase that in order to enhance the quality of life for all our citizens. And we have a lot of business folks in here, and we are reaching out to them too. They are our citizens too, so we want you to know that, and we'll be showing you that. If you recall, in my 2018 State of the City address, maybe you were there, maybe you weren't, I spoke on 3 specific areas where our focus will be, and it's on quality. Everything we want to do is based on quality. The first is quality in our village green utilization. Our second is economic development and redevelopment. And the third is our community partnerships, and we are hot on the way in these 3 areas, and let me give you a few examples. Our first area is village green utilization. We are presently engaged in a downtown vibrancy index study. What is that? That tells you how active your downtown is. We have hired an outstanding firm called Town Center Associates, and they specialize in downtown areas. I visited some of the downtown areas that they've done, and Bruce Neff kind of brought these to us, and council looked at it, city manager, and we're excited to see what they come up with to make it a little bit more vibrant and to add some activity after 5 o'clock. We want the downtown to be more active with our kids after school, and then we want more activities in the evening going on. And you may have noticed that we've already started to, our Park and Recs Commission, our city manager, our police have all pitched in to get more activities on that green. We want to wear it out, keep it beautiful, but get it busy because it's so beautiful. We are the envy of really any city would love to have our village green. And we got it, we're gonna increase the activities there. So you may have noticed that. The other business things that we are doing for village green utilization is businesses on our village green. We invite you, if you want to have something on the village green, come talk to us. One company, Studio Oxygen, I think Marianne Ritz is here, they have had 2 yogas on the green. And they haven't been able to get me in yoga pants yet, but I might this Sunday, I doubt it, but I'll come up there and walk around. But anyway, it's going to be this Sunday from 10 to 2, and it's packed. We passed a food ordinance for food trucks. We have food trucks up there. There's different stations going on. There's all kinds of vendors. People love it. And so we thank Marianne for putting that together and her daughter. But this is the type of positive community stuff that we're doing. Expansion of concerts on the green. Our folks love the Monday night things, and we'll continue those, and we're going to enhance those. How many of you know of the fabulous flashbacks? Remember them? Just a quick show of hands. They know what's going on out here. They've already contacted us. We're going to bring them back. We're going to have a big concert. We might have to get more crowd control to handle that because they want to do a concert on the green, and that'll happen next year. So we're going to expand that, still do Mondays, and maybe add to Thursday nights. We're going to do farmers markets. We're going to do night markets. We have a fall festival, sort of like an Oktoberfest, already planned that our Parks and Rec and our police are taking charge. Chief Colucci's got his guys going, and this, mark your calendar, Saturday, October 20th is when it's going to be. It's coming up. It's going to be coordinated by our police that are really trying to get into the community, get to know everybody, and this is absolutely great. There's going to be pumpkin decorating, face painting, bounce around, and a lot of community games that you can participate in. So that's October 20th. We are talking about having a sort of like a Christmas, like a Shaker Woods type of event for Christmas in the beginning of December, if we can put it together. If we can't, we'll do it next Christmas. But, so that would be like a Christmas market for vendors on our beautiful green. Council has already passed food trucks. So that's what Mary Ann brings up when they have their yoga on the green. So obviously I like food, so I think that was a good ordinance, food trucks. And in the month of September, we have done community days, where from 3 o'clock, I think, to 8 o'clock, we've had games up there that our police have supervised and connected to the community, where families can come up there during the whole month of September and just play on the green and then go to the Dairy Queen after. So you may have noticed these things, but that's the first quality area, village green utilization. The second focus is on economic development, redevelopment. Economic development can solve two problems: job creation for our local residents, and John Boardman has always talked about keeping our kids home, keeping our kids here. Well, we want to get more jobs in Canfield, so that economic development can help us do that. What it'll do is it'll capture revenue for financing and grant matching. The revenue capture comes from the economic development in our city, and it comes from 4 financial tools, and they're acronyms, but I'll briefly go tell you what they are. If you haven't heard of it, it's called a TIP, Tax Increment Financing, an NCA, which is a New Community Authority, a SID, which is a Special Improvement District, and the CIC, which is a Community Improvement Corporation. What these fancy acronyms mean is that you could use dollars to help. If you wonder how cities do stuff, they're using these tools. And we're going to use these tools for Canfield. And it'll be a winner for us. The next thing we're going to do in economic development is next Friday at 10:30 in City Hall, we're having a mayor's business forum. And we invite all the business owners to come out. We'll keep it to an hour. And we're going to talk about, listen to how city government can help your business. And we want you there. And we will meet quarterly. The first kickoff is tomorrow, or next Friday at 10:30. The last one is Redgate property that the city owned a number of years ago. Well, it's annexed into the city. We've been looking at what we're going to do with that, and that'll be taken care of. That 300 acres it's owned, we have some big plans for that. You can see from the map right there, pretty self-explanatory where it is. Leffingwell Road, it's about 300 acres, and this property, being that it's city-owned, will be professionally developed and will be addressed in our 2019 comprehensive plan. Don't worry, we've gotten many questions about this in our fellow councilmen and staff. The charm and the character of Canfield will be represented in the Redgate area. It's going to be great for the schools, for economic development and tax. It's going to be great for everybody. People want to move to Canfield. You know that. Canfield's what brought me back after moving 15 times in the military. And we're going to we're trying to make it better with a team approach. So that's the Redgate Farm right there. And it's going to be very good. The third quality focus is community partnerships. We are really trying to focus on that. And our council has come together, we've talked about this, and our staff, and we all believe, all of us are a team in believing that building quality and community partnerships is what we need to do. I believe we've already started to strengthen relationships to make a strong tomorrow. Back in July, and that slide represents it, I think that's great. You talk about cooperation. All of these groups came together, and I early met with James Dignam, the CEO, and he was emphatic about, you got to do more. You got to reach out. This slide represents that. We had a great meeting down at MS, and we got together. We went out to lunch. We saw some things. We talked about things, and it was just great to get to know the leadership of the different entities that are all represented there. The city, the township, our Canfield School District, Mahoney County Career Technical Center, and we thank you for hosting us. Mahoney County ESC, the Canfield Fair, and even our Congressman Bill Johnson's office. Everybody was there. It was an outstanding meeting to get to know each other, And I believe all those leaders in the feedback that I've gotten came away from that meeting believing that we can do more together than we can do individually. We can do more together than we can do individually. And that's what we're trying to do, just to be a part of that team. The community partnerships we are engaged in are pretty vast, and they're linked together, and you can see what they are. These partnerships enhance the economic sustainability of Canfield. And we feel we got some good partnerships. We have a great relationship with the schools, and we're trying to enhance that. Some of the programs there, School Resource Officer Program, very good. We're with the school, the township, and us are doing together to protect our kids. The internship program, which is new, we're going to get involved with that. Civic Day, that's been a historic thing going on for years, and that is really a great program that we get feedback on. And community development partnerships. In the middle there, community groups. We try to engage the churches and get partnered with them with some of our properties that maybe need a little spruced up. The American Legion, we did a veterans parking program with them, and we've sold, I see our vice commander back there, it's got to be over 50 signs for veterans only parking. There's respect for the military in this community. We've always known that, and it's shown. The Rotary International, they do so much for the city, always have. It's a great link. I know our president is involved in the Rotary, and Rotary continues to be a great partner with the city and do so much. Junior Women's League, you may have attended on the green, their fall festival. It's outstanding. I've become kind of a crafty guy walking around there. The Boy Scouts help us out, they help out the Legion, and also recently our police, coupled with our Akron Children's Hospital, they said they needed more toys. We did the chief put together a toy drive, and it was unbelievable. Unbelievable how you turned out to support kids that need toys. And then our township. We have a good relationship with our township. You know, and you probably know this, Cardinal Joint Fire District is a joint effort between the city and the township. Our dispatch services. We dispatch for the township, we dispatch for the city, but we go west. Ellsworth, I don't know if we go down to Boyd, but we keep going west. And all these small towns there, we dispatch for them. And besides our own city of Canfield, it's a joint effort. And also, the big one is a Joint Economic Development District called a JED. Everybody's heard about it, and because it's a joint operation between our township and our city, I'm going to ask our township trustee and friend Marie to come up here, and we're going to jointly go over a little bit. I have a few slides to present, but we're going to go a little bit more in detail with them. But I'd like Marie to just move her way up here. Come on up here, and then we'll get going on that. Come on up. Before I turn it over to Marie, and we'll kind of go back and forth here, Marie's going to add some more detail to some of the comments about the JED cooperative. I'd like to highlight just a few points that the city provides to the JED property. And you can see them there. We are going to provide utility services to the area, water, wastewater, stormwater, and the utility customers within that JED do not have to pay what they call an extra territorial fee, if you're familiar with that, if you're building. And we receive income tax in exchange for doing that. This will help the school to do that. The next slide, and we'll just flash through it, is the township, and Marie's going to go into specifics about what they do in the township. We synchronize what the township does and what the city does. And this has been going on for a year and a half, the conversations between the previous administration and ours, and it's signed. It's signed, and we're ready to go, and we're ready to form this JED board, so there's a lot of cooperation so you can see what the township provides. The next is just a quick map, and Marie has some other maps too that she'll be talking about, but you can see the green area there. It's outlined in green, the JED area. FJA is going to be the developer, and it's at the corner of 224 and South Palmyra. And finally, an overview of the map, and we'll get into some specifics here, but there's 4 things: commercial retail, a country club, a clubhouse with a pool, and a large residential area that we'll cover in detail. So with that, I'd like to turn the mic over to our partner, Marie.
A Joint Economic Development District, known as a JED, is an arrangement in Ohio where one or more municipalities and a township agree to work to develop land for commercial or industrial use. The benefit to the municipality is that they get a portion of the taxes levied to the JED without having to annex it. The benefits to the township are that it does not lose prime development land. It can still collect property taxes as well as a portion of the income tax collected, and it normally receives water from the municipality, which it may not otherwise have. In 1993, the Ohio General Assembly passed legislation enabling local communities to create JEDs. The second one. Oh, you can just keep going.
So just
But,
click it.
yeah.
Fine.
No,
All I
you're
gotta
out
do-
of the way. Hold on, we need to get back to where we need to go, guys. There we go. A quick
What do you want me to
overview.
get? That
This
one?
one.
Oh, that one right
Yep,
there.
we'll just do that one there. How's
You
that?
tell I'm a 70s guy.
Since the initial passage of the JED, legislation with additional language has been added to include JEDs containing mixed-use developments, commercial and residential, and that's how the Millennial Moments JED was able to be created, since it will have commercial, mixed-use, multifamily, and residential. Next. Up here is 224. And over here, I'm sorry, what do we have over here?
I know how to, sorry.
Okay, here's 224 here. 400 square feet, 400 feet back here is where the commercial development will be for this 111-acre property. This is Palmyra Road. These are the existing residential homes, and this area here will have single-family homes that will have larger lots in this development so that they'll blend more in with the existing residents here.
Just an overview on the Millennial Moments. The multi-family residential use within the JED territory is restricted to buildings that do not exceed 4 units, except as otherwise provided as an option within the JED Economic Development Mixed-Use Overlay, which is the zoning that'll be in the JED. You can see there are quick totals there: 18 4-unit, 2-story townhouses with attached garages for a total of 72. 13 4-unit, 2-story lakeside townhomes with attached double garages. There'll be 52 of those. And also single villas, and you can see, you'll see on the map that they come up, there's 13 of those. And custom home lots. Custom home lots, and there'll be, I believe, let me flip my thing, there'll be 51. 51.
Do you want to show these real quick?
Yeah.
Just to reiterate what the mayor has said, this will be the commercial area here. This is 224 again. These are your multifamily units here. These are going to be single unit villas here. These are custom homes here. These are your other villas that are around the lake here. And these will all be single family homes.
We're going to have people moving into Canfield. They want to come for our schools. They want to come to be part of Canfield. This is going to be a nice expansion for us. Very nice. And if you go out and make a left on Palmyra and go south on 224, you can see this beautiful land. It's very nice. There's not much there now.
Keep in mind that this is the developer's site plan as it appeared at the time that the JED was initiated. That may also change going forward, but again, they will have to abide by the zoning regulations that the township has imposed. Along the commercial area, the developer has agreed to install and maintain a 25-foot landscape buffer area. In the multifamily and residential area, he's going to maintain a 50-foot landscape buffer area. These buffers will be an evergreen type to provide effective screening. Here's a photo, and this screening is an example and is actually a part of the JED agreement, so there is no misunderstanding as to what is expected. township will provide road maintenance services to the public roads, since there are going to be some planned private roadways within this development. We will also provide police protection, and it is the Mahoning County Sheriff's Department that currently patrols the township. Additionally, we have imposed new zoning for JEDs.
As for the contributions from the city, we'll provide points of connection to its to our public water and public sanitary sewer systems for this entire JED territory on the southwest corner of South Palmyra and 224. And this, our city manager's already working on this. It's based on the city obtaining a grant or some other satisfactory financing so we can extend these facilities all the way down.
The township developed a joint economic development district mixed-use overlay zoning district. This zoning will not only be used for the Millennial Moments JED, but any future JED in the township. The zoning JED district had to be approved by the Mahoning County Planning Commission and the township trustees. I'll briefly run through these permitted uses for commercial area. Again, this is the 400 feet that is at the top where 224 is. There may be churches, educational institution, shops, but retail offices cannot exceed 70,000 square feet. Restaurants, both full service, fast food, hotels, professional offices, car dealerships, theaters, gas stations, but not truck stops, a laundromat, indoor kennels. Keep in mind, similar commercial uses that the township believes is substantially similar in nature, compatible with the surrounding land uses, and not detrimental by way of increased traffic or intensity will be permitted.
As for revenue, the income tax, the rate of income tax for the JED, and there will be a JED board established, they will impose a resolution maintained throughout the duration of the agreement shall be equal, and these are the laws, equal to the rate of income tax in effect within the city of Canfield, which at the time that we signed this agreement is 1%. Income earned by persons within the JED to be collected via employee payroll reduction. As far as businesses, the net profits of businesses within the JED, which may be prorated for business to having a location even outside the JED, that would be another source of revenue. And third, the earned income of residents located within the JED. During the term of this agreement, which is 25 years, and any renewal thereof, the rate of income tax shall be the rate imposed by the city from time to time if that would change. It's 1%.
This will be the second JED for Canfield Township and the city of Canfield. The first is the Windsor House, which was called the Canfield Community JED. It is located at Route 446. And it was the first JED in Mahoning County. Without a doubt, it is a facility that we are all proud to be a part of, and a wonderful example of a successful partnership between the township and the city.
Thank you, Marie, and she's going to go on and present the township. Thank you.
Now we'll switch hats and we'll go on to what's happening in the township. By Ohio Revised Code, townships are only required to perform two services to for its residents. One is to maintain cemeteries, and the other is to maintain roads. So in Canfield Township, right up the road here on Palmyra Road, you will see Dean Hill Cemetery. There are graves and headstones dating back to the Civil War, and the township has been replacing the foundations, repairing, cleaning, repositioning headstones for the past several years, and will continue this program. And you can see in this photo a lot of those old-time headstones and how well they look after being maintained. With roads as our other priority, this year's paving program included Aladdin and its 3 adjacent roads for a total cost of $90,745. The trustees have found it beneficial and most cost-effective to do neighborhoods or roads in close proximity. It will benefit the residents and businesses in the southeast quadrant. This is the newest water tower in Canfield Township, the only one. And it was a joint venture between Canfield Township, Mahoney County, and Aqua, Ohio. It is going to benefit everyone because there will be more consistent water pressure and fire suppression, which again is most important for our fire district. The tower holds 500 gallons of water. It is 164 feet high. The cost is approximately $2 million. $800,000 came from a grant from the Ohio Public Works, or OPWC, and a 20-year bond. Ohio Public Works has also helped the township. Star Center Phase 2 is currently underway, and we received a grant from OPWC for $147,573. The township's local funds for that project was only $66,300. And as you can see from this photograph, this is Star Center 1, and this was just completed this spring. It was also done with an OPWC grant. Phase 2 has just started in August and will be completed in mid-November. Both phases consisted of replacement of storm sewer infrastructure, curb and gutter, and resurfacing of the roads. The Mercedes Place embankment stabilization. And the township was approached by the Homeowners Association for assistance with the erosion that was occurring on their property. After investigating the situation, it was clear that the erosion was a result of the turnpike's drainage system. So, the township was able to work with the Turnpike Commission, who gave her the Turnpike Mitigation Program, which supplied $144,359. However, none of those funds were able to be utilized for the engineering of this project. So the township partnered with the ABC Water District and Stormwater District for the $14,000 needed for the engineering. This is the pre-construction. You can see what happened over here, and then during construction, how it looked. Post-construction, as you can see, here is the side of the building, here is the patio, and again, this embankment and yard has been reestablished. Keep in mind that all of this work was done with 100% grant. We're going to switch to new businesses in Canfield. At Ironwood Commons, they've opened a new plaza which is fully leased, and as you can see, these are some of the new retailers that we have welcomed to our community. Additionally, a name that a lot of us are familiar with is Scachetti's. And Scachetti's will be opening a restaurant in the Ironwood Commons here very soon, probably within the next 30 days, since they've just gotten their liquor license. Another familiar name is Coca's Pizza, and they have joined the township by expanding its services. They are located at the corner of Shields and 46. Ground has been broken on a 26,000-foot banquet facility at Westford, which is scheduled to open the spring of 2019. And as you can see here in the lower right-hand photo, the contractor has put in the first 11 courses of block, the entire length of the building. Another 2019 spring opening will be the 717 Credit Union on Route 224. CTW DPW has started construction at the corner of Route 224 and Raccoon Road, and Ducut will be returning to Canfield and will occupy one of these units. In addition to that, Verizon will be joining there with a new location. We're going to talk about residential homes. Canfield Township has 22 new homes under construction year to date. These two happen to be in Villa Rosa. Summer Winds Developer is the #1 builder in the township this year with 7 new home starts. As you can see, there's a lot of activity throughout the township with the homes. Abbey Road has 7 units in phase 3 with deposits on all, so the developer is looking forward to starting phase 4. Summer Wind phase 10 has 14 lots with 9 already sold. These are all additions to the 22 home starts listed previously. Canfield Township has been ranked #1 in new home starts in Mahoning County for many years. We welcome new commercial and residential development. However, with increased businesses and residents comes the need for services, and one of our community's best services is another example of a partnership between the city and the township, and that's our fire district, the Cardinal Joint Fire District. And here to update you will be our chief, Don Hutchinson.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years since I've been here. Since that time, the fire district has definitely grown, along with the city and the township. And the fire district's trying to keep right up along with it, as in strategic planning and looking ahead into the future. As you see here, pictured here are our 3 latest fire trucks, which our duty crews man, and along with our newest fire station. What we are doing, though, is working towards our next grading period, which is next month through Insurance Services Organization. And they write the rates for fire departments throughout the country. Not all insurance company uses them, but a majority does. So how often do we get inspected? Right now it's running every 5 years. So that's what we're up against and working towards. So what do they review? The ISO comes in, looks at our organization as a whole, looks at firefighter response times, looks at our training records, emergency communications, the apparatus, and the housing and location. I promise to make this short and sweet. But how we've done that is, #1, we added a new station on Herbert Road, joint venture between the city and the township, and you can see that there. And here's the location, strategically, location of our 3 stations. We're out in the northeast, but now we're in the northwest, and we're at the central. Basically, we're looking to wherever there's residents being built, that's where we're heading to. We also pushed, moaned, groaned, kicked, screamed, everything for the water tower after the Ducut fire. Everybody knows about that. So that's what we're doing. We're ready to have our next inspection. So, along with that, our new adventure is this year we started doing full transport ambulance service. Basically, all 3 stations have an ambulance. All 3 stations have a paramedic and EMTs on board. So with that ambulance service, since July, we've transported 63 patients in July, August 84, and we had a huge end of the month run in September of 101 transports. What's that mean to you, the citizen of Canfield? It means this. Previously, you paid for the whole ambulance bill. We are doing what all the other fire departments in the state of Ohio are doing, is we're soft billing. We now send the bill to your insurance company, and then whatever they pay us, that's what we accept. You do not get a bill, you just get a statement. So we just did a little bit of calculation just with the first 3 months. How much money is that saving the citizens of Canfield? Well, right now we're running 80% of the calls are a city resident. And we divided that out here And with the number of calls running, averaging going to be about 800 a year. Wouldn't look like that with the numbers we've done so far, but that's what we're projecting. We're looking at $260,000 savings every year to the citizens who use our service, because they would not have to pay the second half of that bill. Whatever their insurance, Medicare, whatever other type of health insurance they have pays for it, even auto insurance, whatever is received, that's what we accept for that ambulance trip if you're a citizen. If you're not a citizen, you would end up billed for the whole amount. We also increased our part-time staffing from 4 to 6, and with the help of the fire board, they believed in our, what do I want to say, John? Our, what would you call it? Our Program A. So in a fire service, you always have Program A. You have to have a Program B. If this doesn't work out right, we've got to have a backup. So we have a backup in place. So we now have 6 full-time, part-time firefighters on duty and 3 full-time paramedics on duty at all time, 1 at each station. What's that do to you? That basically brings you either a lot of firefighters or a lot of medical help right away. And if you've seen earlier in the year, we had a cardiac arrest save in town, 50-year-old gentleman. This program's already been successful in itself. Another thing the fire district's working on, we have 10 firefighter paramedics ready to complete this tactical EMS special response team. Previously in Mahoning County, they had a tactical response team, and it's paramedics who go in to either shooting situations, knifings, anything that would be people injured and it'd be a violent scene. Now they are being trained in cooperation with the Canfield Police Department and our own firefighters. They're being trained and they carry all the equipment you see there. So they will be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because at least 3 of them will be on duty, if not more, at all times, and also we call that from home. Other things that the fire district's working on is fall prevention. My deputy chief spent 4 years at the National Fire Academy taking executive fire officer training. And while he was there, he was shown how to do all the research of all the information we're putting into the national data bank. First thing came back, what's our number 1 issue in Canfield? What's our highest risk in Canfield? Fire department wise, it's falls, not fires, falls. So the next thing he looks at is what's the age group of Canfield? Well, it looks like within 8 years, more than 50% of Canfield is going to be 65 or older. Myself included. So what can we do? Well, we started teaming up with contractors that install fall prevention in the homes. Rugs, railings, rails in the bathroom, rails in the steps. So we also provide that type of service to have an inspection of your home and also with that a fire inspection. Canfield Fair. Canfield Fair is something this community needs to be proud about. And safety-wise, we'll put this second to none. The Fair Board works hand in hand with us. We even have Chief Frost, retired chief from Austintown, working with us. But this year was a unique year. We had new rides and all that. But if you look at the stats, we had all EMS calls. No fires, no propane leaks, no electrical shorts reported. And that's because we do 300 to 400 inspections of every vendor on the fairgrounds. So, makes it a safe place, everybody gets to go home. Fire code updates. You may have seen in the headlines of the newspaper this week. Fire code updates and my name along with it. Fire code updates are coming out, and they've been out, but they're going after food truck vendors. And we want a meeting with the Fair Board next week, but the one code comes up where added space is needed in these food trucks. I just want to show you this video.
We're live out here at 3rd and Wyoming, and we are on video right now. lunch truck, this food truck that exploded into flames. I'm talking to witnesses who said that about 5:30 today in Feltonville, they heard a loud boom and they saw a woman who was badly burned sitting outside the truck. Preliminarily, they're saying it was a propane tank that exploded inside this truck. One woman badly burned to 100% of her body, 2nd to 3rd degree burns, and at least 2 others, if not up to 5 people hurt in this incident out here in Feltonville on 3rd and...
Anyways, that's what we're dealing with. That's why the fire code changed, and that's where we're heading to with that. So, thank you very much for your time, and have a good day.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. One comment about food trucks, we do have to have all food trucks in Canfield be inspected. They do have to get a permit, so I think that's worth mentioning after that video. It's my honor to introduce you to Attorney Molly Johnson, an old friend from church. Molly is an attorney from the prestigious Canfield law firm, Johnson & Johnson, which has been together since 1921. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce you to Counselor Molly Johnson to talk about this interesting issue 1.
The issue is something that's going to be on your ballot this fall. It's called Ohio Issue 1. What is Ohio Issue 1? Ohio Issue 1 is a proposed constitutional amendment to our Ohio Constitution. Importantly, it's being lobbied for and primarily paid for by special interest groups outside the state of Ohio. The #1 sponsor of Ohio Issue 1 is actually Mark Zuckerberg's charity. The #2 sponsor is actually John Legend, the singer in New York. And I don't know about you, but I get a little red flaggy when I hear that people from outside our wonderful state are trying to amend our Constitution. So just a couple of things really quickly. First, this is not a law that has passed through the Ohio State Legislature. It's a constitutional amendment. As you know, they're very, very difficult to undo. Second, let's look at what Ohio Issue 1 does. It involves drug possession. These guys are very, very well funded. They characterize this as bringing families together. They talk about warm and fuzzy feelings. This is for nonviolent offenders. And to be fair, there are a fair number of good parts to Ohio Issue 1. I was talking with James from the Chamber yesterday about this. But they've really botched the execution. And it's extremely important for all of us informed business owners, educated citizens to understand this. Ohio Issue 1 reclassifies drug possession charges. And it makes anyone found in possession of an illicit substance fewer than 20 milligrams in quantity. The only sentence that a judge could give that person is a misdemeanor sentence. That is to say that no judges in the state of Ohio could give anybody jail time for these drug possession offenses, okay? That doesn't sound like a lot, right? So what I want to do is I want to put this 20 milligrams in perspective for you. We all know about fentanyl. 2016, 56% of Ohio's deaths were based on fentanyl. I see all of my first responders nodding and my school folks nodding in the room right now. 56% of our overdose deaths were from fentanyl. How many overdose deaths do we have? 4 times the number of deaths from drug overdoses as from car accidents. Can you imagine? 4 times, okay? 56% from fentanyl. I placed a number of pennies on every table in the room this morning. If each of you could grab a penny or look at a penny if you have one in your pocket, I want you to flip over to the side where you see good old Abe on there, okay? On that penny, if you would take a look at Abe's beard, just the beard, okay? The amount of fentanyl required to cover that beard is 2 milligrams. 2 milligrams of fentanyl, according to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, is what's required to kill the average human being. And that could be from aerosolized fentanyl. It can also be from contact. If you guys have been watching in the media, I think I'm okay with it. Yeah, if you guys have been watching in the media, all of our first responders, who I have nothing but extreme respect for, are dealing with this right now and having to have special fentanyl-proof clothing and gloves. This is a tactile overdose potential. So 2 milligrams is what it takes to kill the average person. What Ohio Issue 1 does is says 20 milligrams is okay, no jail time. So that's 10 deaths on your hands, okay, and no jail time. It undermines the ability and the efficacy of our drug courts, because I can't sentence anyone to a drug court, okay, if I can't put them in jail, okay? I'm about to blow your mind, and this is my final remark. Carfentanil is 100 times more potent than fentanyl. So you're looking at little Abe's beard, okay, 2 milligrams of fentanyl kills one person. So we've got 10 deaths from fentanyl, but I'm gonna multiply that times 100, because carfentanil is 100 times more potent. That's 1,000 deaths and no jail time. What that does, ladies and gentlemen, is it makes Ohio in a unique position to have the most lenient drug laws of any of our neighboring states. And I don't know about you, myself, I don't want to get into a situation where our beloved state is a haven for users and dealers who, trust me, are watching this and waiting to see what happens, because with the Pennsylvania border as close as it is and all of our other borders, I think we all know logically what could happen if this issue passes. So I would encourage you to do your research. This is a nonpartisan issue. Supreme Court of Ohio against Issue 1, Fraternal Order of Police against Issue 1, Ohio State Bar Association against Issue 1. Please do your research and consider voting no on Issue 1 this fall. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Molly, for giving us some great information on Issue 1. And Mayor Duffett, Chief Hutchison, Marie, for your updates. Lots of great stuff going on in Canfield. But to keep our updates rolling, I'd like to call on school superintendents. Superintendent Alex Jordan.
Thank you very much. We'll keep this brief because I know we want to get to lunch here shortly. First off, Mayor, I already have a collection going so that we do not see you in yoga outfit on the that will be the highest fundraiser of the year, I can guarantee you that. Regional Chamber, thank you very much. Outstanding, very valuable information, just joking about the time. It's great stuff going on, and they have all the respect and gratitude of all the efforts in the city and township, because that's what makes this place so great. Also, Farmers National, outstanding support. It's great to have the #1 school system in the area and the #1 bank, so thank you very much. I'd like to introduce our board, because it's very important that we are a team and we work together. So we'll start off, Mr. Wilkinson. Dave Wilkinson is our board president. Craig Olson is our vice president. Tracy DeCapua is a board member. Mike Russos is also a board member, and Phil Bova as a board member. Central office staff, again, is a team. Couldn't do it alone. We have John Tullio, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, longtime administrator, and couldn't do it without him. And last but not least, direct deposit made today because of Patty Prince, our treasurer. So thank them. Please give them a round of applause. You know, our board tells me all the time, show the soft side of you, Alex. People like to view you differently, but show your soft side. I'll give you a little tidbit as a family. My daughter received a special plateau this past week, and she was recognized by her school system. She had 1,000 assists for her career, so she reached that this past Tuesday, and only the second one in school history. So that's a little softer side. You got a little taste of Alex. So we'll start with the slides. Again, a lot of times administrators and educators are pretty humble because we can't do things alone, and we don't like to brag about ourselves because, again, it's about our kids and it's about you folks sending the positive influences into our buildings. It's because of you who raised those youngsters to get these results. Never forget that. So again, we continue to grow as a school system. 104.3 performance index, best in the Tri-County area. 35th if you take a look at locals and districts in the state. 2 years ago we were sitting at 100. Last year we were 103. We continue to grow there, trend in the right direction. And just to let you know, just a little tidbit on locals around us, we continue to compare ourselves with others. I don't know why, but the state continues to try to drive that home with us. But what's important with this, fiscal responsibility. We continue to talk about that. Cost per pupil is just over $8,700 per pupil. The state average is 91 plus. So again, your tax dollars, hard at work, definitely fiscally responsible. Good, we'll keep moving. Safety and security. Okay, so every year we try to enhance. We talk about response time, we talked about school resource officers, we talk about what can happen when you are present, and obviously that's important. But we talk to our youngsters, we talk to our families, we talk to our residents. One area that we noticed that was a concern were doors that don't have buzzer entrance. So a lot of times, kids will come up and there might be somebody at the other side of the door, and hey, it's human nature. We want to help, we want to open the door up. It's not a good thing to have, even with our youngsters. So we put alarm systems that you might see at the YMCA. You might also see these at your local elderly facilities. It's an alarm that will go off as the door opens. So these are put on doors that don't have key fobs or are not visible by the adult eye. So that's very important. Also, new ticket window. If you recall, if you've ever purchased a ticket during a school day for a local event, you get buzzed in at the athletic entrance. Well, guess what? You now have full access to the building. And by looking at that, we said we need to stop that as an access point by our public. So now we have a ticket window. So if you're interested in purchasing a ticket during the school day, that is actually a ticket window that will lead right into our athletic department. The secretary there, Jackie, will sell you a ticket and you will not have access to the building. Very important that we lock that area down. We'll keep going. Weekly updates. We feel that it's important that we communicate with our public. This is an opportunity that not only myself, other administrators, also students that film every week. This is available on our website. It's about a 5 to 7 minute video that we talk about what's going on in the district that week and the upcoming week. It's been very well received, and we only look to see this growing as we move forward. We also can pump this to your cell device and to your email account. So you don't have to go to our website every week to see this. So if you're interested in that, shoot me an email, write a slip down, we'll put you on our emailing list, and we'll pump that out to you every week. We talked about wanting to get more engaged with youngsters. In a previous district I worked at, I used to have lunches with seniors every year. So we decided to start that. I never thought having 260, 270 students in a senior class, I would have an opportunity to do this. But we scheduled it. And I tell my secretary, Chris, I'm gone for an entire afternoon. Once a week I go over and we talk with seniors. And that has been an outstanding event to have. So a lot of times students won't want to approach you as an administrator, and they're very defensive, and they think that you're going to run right to the principal and, hey, Mr. Jordan's just trying to get some information on me and he's going to get me in trouble. That's not what this is. Stress-free, low-key, nice lunch, good communication, and I'm telling you, the list of items that they are recommending, we are going to incorporate. Because how can you get better information than a youngster that has spent 13 years in your school system? We're talking about improvements in elementary, middle, and high. It's been outstanding. Another thing that we thought we'd try is definitely at the middle school as well. So English classes, been able to get in and talk with kids, talk about dress code. Why can't I have purple hair? We talk about different type of clothing. Why can't I have shorts that come up to a certain level? So those are what's important to an 8th grader's mind. And that's all right. We need to have those conversations with them. So wonderful conversations, and we're going to keep doing that. Internship program. On your table, you will see internship sheets, note cards. We want you to be involved with our kids. We talk about getting involved with the community and having our community get to know us more. These are examples of 30 or so internship program acceptances in our community and surrounding. These folks have already had our youngsters in with them. Could be 5 hours, could be 15, could be 30 hours a semester. Our kids coming in, working with you folks. So sign up, get involved. We want you to help us out, and we want to help you out. So another way, another opportunity to get our kids involved. We've got about 30 kids signed up this year, and they are cranked. Now, I'll tell you, you're going to learn that teenagers today are interesting if you don't have any experiences with them, and we have to mold them appropriately. So we will work together and make sure that attendance is important, make sure that that first impression is important, make sure that soft skills are important. Our youngsters don't have any idea how to make out a resume. This is an opportunity to them. First impression, your dress, how you present yourself, how you communicate, how you address someone. Very important, and we need your help to get involved in this. That's all I have. Made it quick. I was told at one point that I took the longest, and I think I won the award for shortest today. Hey guys, thanks for everything.
Thank you, Superintendent, for a lot of great information this morning. If you can just afford us a few more minutes. When our council met, it was right around the fair time, and we were talking about 4-H and how significant that program is at the fair, but all year round in our community. So we thought we would invite a couple of those from 4-H to come and tell you about it. So we'd like to welcome Beth Smith, 4-H educator from Mahoney County, and Canfield student Kalia Barwick, who is a 2018 4-H queen, to tell us more about 4-H and how it works and what it means to them.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us to be here today. I truly appreciate it. So 4-H, if you didn't know, is the largest youth organization in the United States. Bigger than the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, we are the largest youth organization. So what is 4-H? I bet when I say the word 4-H, I can guess what the majority of you are thinking about. Probably the fair, probably livestock, cows, hogs, horses. So we are so much more than just cows and plows, as I like to say. We are, the perception of our program is that we are agricultural based. But we have over 200 projects that our youth can take. And we have computers, we have robotics, we have electricity projects, engineering projects, money management, art, cooking, sewing. There's so many, I can't even name them all. Calia's taken a lot of those projects, probably the majority. And you don't have to live on a farm to be in 4-H. We are trying to engage so many more students, and just our ag plays a huge part in our 4-H program, and we don't want to lose that. But we also want to reach out to the kids that are in the city and don't live on a farm, so they can be involved with us too. So 4-H is a non-formal educational youth program, and we offer it to kids that are ages 5 up to 19. And you can participate in so many different ways. We have our traditional clubs, which is what most of you think of, but we also have camps, and you don't have to be in 4-H to come to any of our camping programs. And we also have in-school, if you didn't know, we also have in-school and after-school programs for kids that aren't involved in our clubs, but we also have those programs for those youth. So we focus on hands-on learning. That is the basis of our program. We don't want our kids just to hear about it or see it. We want them in there enjoying it, because that's going to help them their whole life. They're going to keep that skill for their entire life if they get their hands on it. And we build on that knowledge. So we set a foundation for that knowledge, and each year we continue to build on it. That's how we keep these youth interested. I see Carson here too. He aged out of 4-H, but he was at last year's 4-H game. And we keep these youth interested in 4-H all throughout their teen years, because we keep building on that foundation that we have. So our motto in 4-H, National 4-H motto, is to make the best better. And that's that continuing learning process. We are that learning process behind those projects. So you might see the livestock at the fair, but what those kids have learned about those projects throughout the entire year. We don't just meet in the summer, we meet all year long. So it's a continual learning process. So the 4-H's, if you don't know, there is something that they all stand for. So the first one is H, the H is for head, and we talk about for clear, we pledge it to clear thinking, so problem solving that we're teaching, and also decision making. The next H is heart. We pledge our heart to greater loyalty. So we are talking about caring for others and wanting to see others succeed, not just ourselves, we're helping others. And our hands, this is a huge part of what we do. We pledge it to larger service. So a large part of 4-H, if you don't know, is all about community service. Our clubs are out there in our communities, and they are doing all kinds of community service projects. They're pledging many hours to it. So we want our kids to learn to make their communities better. What thing can I do to make life a little better for others around me? So, and our last H is for health, to better living. And we teach not only physical health, but also mental health. What can I do to make my life a little better? So I have a handout in the middle, and on the one side is some statistics from Mahoning County 4-H. So in Mahoning County, we have 50 4-H clubs, and these are traditional clubs, and it takes 229 volunteers to run those clubs. These are adult volunteers, we call them advisors. I could not do this program without those volunteers. It takes all of them to run these clubs. They put in many, many hours to our youth. And this year we have 1,091 youth enrolled in our traditional 4-H clubs. And those youth have completed, this is just for this year, they've completed 2,972 projects. And those projects are there's all kinds of projects they completed. Some of the ones that stood out when I look at the numbers are, of course, the animal projects, some STEM projects, communication, and also we have our Clover Bud projects. So if you don't know what Clover Buds are, they are our youngest members. They are ages 5 to 8 years old. Those members cannot take competitive projects yet, but they're starting to learn those skills. We're starting to teach them some teamwork skills. They're working together. They do some special things in the club. Then once they're 8 years old, they can start taking competitive projects. So our school enrichment program, these are our youth that are not in our 4-H clubs. I go out to them, and I have other partners that go out to them. We meet them where they are. So we're going into the schools. We have our Good Nature Garden partners. They meet in the Youngstown City Schools after school. They're an after-school program. And this year they met with 143 students. They actually have a garden. They teach those kids how to plant a garden, tend to it, harvest it. It's a great program. Chick Quest. I go into the schools. If you haven't seen me around, I go into many of our schools and I take in eggs, and we have all the supplies for you, the incubator. We actually hatch eggs, so the kids learn the process of that life cycle, that little egg, and they love it. They get to watch that egg grow in 21 days from an egg to a chick. And Real Money, Real World. This is another one that we teach. This is a financial literacy program for ages 14 to 18. And this is, it's a real life situation. It goes over 6 to 9 weeks. And we're teaching budgeting. And at the end of it, we do a real life simulation. And they have to go through and make some lifestyle choices and budget choices that they would have to make later in life. It's a great program. Camping, overnight and day camping. Again, you don't have to be in 4-H to camp with us. We had about 325 youth involved in that this year. And Carteen's another great program. This is in conjunction with the Mahoning County Juvenile Court Systems and Judge Delic. It is for first-time traffic offenders that are under the age of 18. They have to come take our program, usually dictated by Judge Delic. Come take our program to not get some points on their license for what happened. And we've had, this year alone, 315 kids attend that class. And it's taught by other 4-H youth that are 15 to 18 years old. So in Mahoning County alone this year, we've reached 2,197 youth. I'd like to reach even more. So 4-H is strong in Mahoning County, but we want to take this current program, sustain it, and grow it. How are we going to grow it? By letting the community know what we are about, and letting you know all the things that we have, all the opportunities there are in 4-H. It's not just animals. So at the bottom of that page, there's a little quote from National 4-H that I like. We believe in the power of young people. We see that every child has valuable strengths and real influence to improve the world around us. So that's what we want for our youth, and I brought one of those youths with me today. This is Kelly Barwick. She's a junior at Canfield High School, and she is our current 4-H queen. This is a youth that has been impacted by 4-H, and I'll have to say that now she is impacting other 4-H youth. She's a great leader and mentor, so I'm going to give her a chance to say something.
Thank you, Beth. So thank you all for having me out here. So as Beth said, I am the reigning 2018-2019 4-H queen. My journey in 4-H started when I was a shy 5-year-old, and my mom's and grandma saw an ad, and it was for a dog club. So in 4-H, like Beth said, most people, when they hear 4-H, they think agriculture. But for me, my process and journey started with my dog, a little dachshund named Little Girl. So you see this little girl and this other little girl running around 4-H, and everyone was like, "Callie, why are you so shy?" And I was like, "Because I don't know anyone." But 4-H has helped me to break out of that, and so now I can stand in front of all of you today and say that I've become a true leader, and that's our motto in 4-H, is to become true leaders. So my process in 4-H, like I said, started with my dog, and it furthered my abilities in speaking, and my shyness went away. And so now I'm officially a junior at Canton High School, and I lead a mentorship project in my club. So I take on the Clover Bed members and some of the younger kids in the club, and I mentor them and get them to where they are today in 4-H and how they can get to state levels and competing, as well as in our county region and everything. But not only am I a leader, I am now also a promoter of 4-H. So I am on some of the state boards in 4-H, where I am the state Mahoney County ambassador on the state board for this year for fashion. So 4-H for me is also fashion. So I take sewing and clothing projects, and so I get to promote Mahoney County for a year with my reign as that as well. But not only am I that, but I'm a health hero. So I've actually gotten to work with a lot of the Canfield City Police Department, fire, as well as others around the area with Mahoney County Sheriff's Department, and I led a stuffed animal drive for the opioid crisis. So I got over 1,500 stuffed animals, and we got to clean them, wash them, and donate them back to the community from community members, and we were able to have these stuffed animals go into police cruisers and for the fire and rescue and everything. And they're a great way for kids who might be affected by the opioid crisis or a disaster that they might be impacted with, and they get to have this joy out of a dark situation. So 4-H has not only helped me become the leader, but an advocate now. So I'm a health hero, I'm a fashion board member, and now the reigning queen of 2018. And it all started because my mom saw this ad for 4-H and a youth organization that believes in the impact of youth, and so that's why it's a great advocate for our area to have. So I would hope for you all to look into it, send your kids this way, send Canfield kids. I know I'm going to be working a lot in the community this year since I only have a couple more years in 4-H, but I want to see this program striving and thriving throughout the years to come. So thank you all so much for having me come and speak today.
Thank you so much, Beth and Kalia. It was great to hear from you and learn more about what 4-H does. I'm sure I was one of those people who got animals most of my life. So it's nice to hear more, and Kalia, congratulations. And thank you for sharing your insight and experiences with us this morning. We always love to hear from students on a Good Morning program. But with that is the conclusion of our program. I appreciate all of you coming out this morning. This is one of our largest Good Mornings in recent years. We had about 140 people today, so obviously you're all interested in what's going on in the community. And from all the updates that were presented, it's clearly a great time to live and work in Canfield. So thank you again to farmers for your support, MCCTC for hosting us, and all of you for joining us, and have a great weekend.